Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my top 10 albums of 2020. So every year, I do this thing where I look at all the released albums of the year, musical albums, obviously. I look at all the released musical albums of the year, um, and I rank them. And usually, there's certain albums from certain artists or genres or stuff that almost never make my top 10. Like you'll almost never see like a rap album in my top 10 because while I like some rap, I don't like the genre enough as a whole to really find much of any like albums out there that I would undeniably like enough to be a top 10 for me. But you'll see like rock or sometimes pop and stuff like that in there uh, often enough. Metal and stuff like that. The kind of genres I tend to listen to most often, and the kind of artists I like to listen to most often. So these are my personal top 10 based on my personal preferences in music. Um, and they are based on everything that has been released this year, at least up to this point. I don't think there's anything else scheduled for, like, anything else big scheduled for release that other than something that I know will not be in my top 10 based on just not really being a fan of the artist. Um, so this should be definitive at this point for 2020. And yeah, it is just the top 10 albums. They can be musical albums. It doesn't matter if it's a cover album, if it's a studio album, if it's a live album. None of that matters. It just has to be an officially released album. It doesn't even matter like if it's a big name musical artist, if it's a YouTube artist, if it's a soundtrack for a movie. None of that matters either. As long as it is a musically based album that was released during 2020. It doesn't matter if some singles came out prior to 2020. The album itself had to have been released in 2020. Then all is good. At that point, all is good. So yeah, there's not really much else to talk about with this. This will be redirected because I'll be using clips from music videos from songs that were in that album. So those will, of course, have copyright issues. So I will be redirecting down in the description below to both BitChute and Google Photos. You can find the lists there. But yeah, otherwise, there's not really any other requirements or things for this list. It's just all subjective. Music is very subjective in and of itself. So if an album you loved isn't on this list, let me know. Tell me in the comments below what are your favorite albums from this year. Um, I would love to hear. I would love to hear what your tastes in music are like, and how they differ from my own. So thank you so much in the meantime for tuning in. Once again, link is in the description below, both to BitChute and Google Photos for the actual list. And thank you so much once again. So for now, I'm Connie, and I hope you enjoy.